What happens when a group of arrogant bullies target what they think is a helpless, quiet single mother struggling on her lonely farm, only to discover too late that she is a former Green Beret sniper who has faced enemies far more dangerous than them? Stick around till the end of this unbelievable story, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more gripping tales of justice, courage, and shocking twists that will leave you speechless. The countryside was always supposed to be quiet, a place where hard work paid off in harvests and peace of mind, where neighbors were supposed to wave at each other over fences, and where the only real threats were storms, wild animals, or bad soil. But for Elena Hayes, a single mother who had chosen a weather-beaten old farm to rebuild her life after her husband's sudden death, the peace of her little patch of land was about to be shattered by a group of bullies who thought they owned the town, and they had no idea that the quiet woman they mocked and harassed had once been one of the most feared and precise snipers in the U.S. Green Berets, a soldier with scars no one could see and instincts that never dulled, instincts now buried under motherhood and the daily grind of fixing fences, milking goats, and keeping her 9-year-old daughter safe. It all began on a late September evening when Elena came back from the barn carrying a bucket of fresh milk and noticed a strange silence, then the faint smell of gasoline, and when she turned the corner, she saw her mailbox smashed, graffiti scrawled across her barn doors, and her chickens scattered, some dead, others limping, and though her heart clenched with anger and grief, she said nothing, not to the sheriff who seemed to shrug it off, and not to the neighbors who muttered warnings about the Cray brothers, local troublemakers who came from money, used their daddy's lawyers to avoid consequences, and found joy in tormenting anyone weaker. And Elena, with her quiet, composed demeanor, looked like the perfect target. They didn't know about her past, about Afghanistan, about nights lying in the sand with her scope locked on insurgents miles away, about the lives she had taken to protect her unit, and about the nightmares she still woke from in a cold sweat. So when the brothers returned the next week, riding their trucks up her dirt road, blaring music, laughing, throwing beer cans onto her land, and finally shouting insults about her being the lonely widow farmer, Elena felt the old adrenaline stir, but she kept her calm, knowing bullies thrived on reactions. Yet the moment one of them tossed a lit cigarette into her haystack and drove off, she realized this wasn't just childish vandalism, it was escalation. Her training whispered in her mind, assess, adapt, respond, and she quietly moved her daughter inside, locked the doors, and sat at the kitchen table with a pen and paper, making a list of supplies, routes, and contingencies, because if they wanted war, they had picked the wrong farm. But still, she waited. She wanted to believe they would get bored, until the night she heard her daughter scream, rushed outside, and saw the silhouette of one of the brothers near the window, laughing, drunk, daring her to come out. And though she grabbed her shotgun, she remembered the sheriff's words, "Don't go looking for trouble, Elena. You know their family's influence." But this time she didn't care. She fired into the ground just feet from his boots, and he stumbled back, cursing, swearing revenge, and that was when the game changed. Over the following days, Elena fortified her property, not with obvious barricades but with subtle traps, barbed wire hidden under leaves, tripwires connected to bells, cameras in the tree line, and she dusted off her old,